couple of videos ago, I made a video of myself installing Arch Linux, and I've been daily driving it for several months now. Today, I'll give a recommendation on what would be best for you. This won't be an average Linux glazing video, but it will also not be some kind of tutorial. Alright, with that said, there are Debian-based, Arch-based, Red Hat-based, and LFS Linux from scratch-based distros. In quite every Linux video, you will hear the word distro or distributions. Distros are basically specific versions of Linux. The closest thing to a distro is what you'll experience when using an Android phone. They're all Android, but there's Pacman OS for Nothing Phone, One UI on Samsung phones, and Harmony OS on Huawei. They all look kind of the same, but have some slight differences. There's a whole timeline with over 400 distros listed, and those are just what has been submitted. There are over hundreds of thousands of unofficial distros, so how exactly should I find the right one for me? And that's what we will be discussing today. Alright, to start this off, this will change a lot, and you should know at least the basics about the terminal to continue with this. For example, you should know how to change directories, list files, and install, remove, or update packages on different operating systems. It's not forbidden to use AI. Hell, I have Gemini CLI installed on this machine. It has MCP access to the files I wanted to have access to. If you do want to have desktops like these, or you just want to customize everything, Arch Linux is the distro for you, though I wouldn't recommend starting with it. When you're coming from Windows, which is possibly if you click on this video, you should go with Mint. It's the most user-friendly and Windows closest distro, so it's pretty much easy to learn. After 1 to 2 months, I would recommend to switch to Manjaro. Manjaro is basically Arch Linux, but beginner friendly, and if you feel comfy with the terminal and you can troubleshoot basic stuff, you should switch to Marchi. I personally started with Arch and instantly went with Hyperland after just 3 weeks of Linux experience, and trust me, it's not what you want to do, especially if you're coming from Windows and having almost no terminal knowledge. Marchi is basically a pre-made Hyperland environment with a little extra stuff. It has pre-made wallpapers, basically a pre-made RISE. Oh god, I should just stop using those words. Rising in Linux means customizing your Linux environment to your liking, and someone really crazy with that. I'd recommend changing the keybinds because they're pretty inconvenient. I'll also give you a challenge to do, and if you can solve it, you're ready for the switch to Marchi. Use Pacman or Gay in the terminal to install NeoFetch or FastFetch. Run it to display the system info. Add an alias to bashrc or zshrc so it runs automatically when you open a terminal or you enter clear. Now add an alias to cd into your config directory with con, and try to edit the default NeoFetch or FastFetch config to only display the stuff you want, with VI or any of them. That's the most important point. When you've got that, you're able to customize and troubleshoot on Archi. For everyone who's still watching, I got something to say. Yes, gaming is possible on Linux. Most non-anti-cheat games run on Linux better than on Windows. If you only care about gaming, use Bazzite. Bazzite is like a distro made for gamers, and it supports every game with Proton that does not have an anti-cheat. Proton is basically a layer that translates every Windows API call into a Linux API call, and I don't know how it exactly works, but feel free to check it out. It's pretty cool. I think you can even run CS2 on Linux, and 99% of story games run on Linux too. You can also run Team Fortress 2 and Minecraft on Linux, though I don't think real known cheat clients except like Ambient. Yes, I know I'm back to Ambient glazing, but it's just the only client I personally know that runs flawlessly on Linux. And there is an unofficial way to run VP4 on Linux, so if you really want that, it's possible. There will be a Linux Rising channel in my Discord. Feel free to share your Rising experience. I'll try to answer every comment under this video too. To finish everything off, you should start with Linux Mint. After 1 to 2 months, when you're feeling comfy, switch to Manjaro. Take your time there, learn a lot, and then switch to Marchi.